Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to another channel update. This one for February 2020. It's been a little while since I did a proper full channel update, so I thought it's about time I owed you guys one. Plus, also, I'm kind of low on the edited footage for this week, so I figured I'd get this one at least out there for something. It'll be easier to edit and all those things. Been very busy with the channel and other things. I know the videos have been kind of haphazard and scatterbrained and all those things, but it's just I'm juggling many things is what I'm getting at here, and I'm going to talk about a few of those things, and then we'll see where we go from there. The game in the background is Temtem. I finally got a chance to sit down for another hour and play it, so hope you enjoy. I will be trying to get another live stream of it at some point, but it's my schedule is so freaking full right now, and there's so many things coming out that I like, that I want to play, and all those things. And let's talk about a few things here. I don't have any of the statistics up for the channel. Normally I would sit here and spout off some numbers to you, but I just don't have anything prepared, and honestly I'm not really in the mood to go through numbers anyway right now. Suffice to say, we went through our normal January. What tends to happen in January on YouTube anyway is that all the big YouTubers stop uploading, or at least not uploading as frequently, because the payouts, the monetization in January drops through the floor. So a lot of them take a break and go over to Twitch and do other things over there, which means that my videos start to get actually out there by the YouTube algorithm. YouTube algorithm starts to chew on them a little bit more, so I tend to get an influx of people looking at videos, and with that comes a lot of the things that I usually don't have to deal with on YouTube, like ridiculous comments and whatnot. I got one that from someone that said, as soon as you said per se in one of your videos, I know that I stopped watching because only someone who's trying to sound smart would say per se, and you know, it's just random stupid things like that just make you kind of question your sanity, and whether or not you're the only sane person left in the world, that kind of thing. Nothing too crazy or outlandish anyway. But that does help a little bit with the views. It doesn't really help with the subscribers per se, but it does help a little bit with views and things. And now we've dropped back down to our normal amount that February has started up, and all the bigger YouTubers have started to chew on their channels again. With that, there's a few things that I'm thinking about, as well as a few things I'm going to be playing. Obviously, in January, I played through Evoland 1, which was a lot of fun to revisit that. At some point, I'll visit Evoland 2. We'll get to that. Also, on live streams, I've been doing Mass Effect 1, where if I remember correctly, I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way through the game at this point. And I think I've gotten all the footage that I had up on the channel. I'll have to look and see, but we'll see where we sit with that in a moment. And so I'll be playing through that fully. I did do a stream of Fable 2, and I mentioned this in, I think, my small channel update. I'm going to throw that footage away and come back to it again when I feel, and when I'm in a better mindset. I feel like I was not doing so well there with that. It just wasn't hitting with me like it did back in the past. So we'll revisit that. Evoland 2, I will eventually come back around to. Grim Dawn will be an on and off thing. I was planning on trying to get more done in that, and Wolcen came out, which I really hadn't even heard of until it was recommended to me in my Steam library, and I got into it just as it was about coming out of early access and being a real deal thing. So that's going to consume most of my streaming for the next couple days or weeks or however long it takes me to get through that. So I'll be getting that up on the channel, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with that. I'm going to try a little experiment, and we all like my experiments, I'm sure. But the experiment I'm going to go for is I have, rather than putting up the entire stream as just one file that's, 4 hours long or whatever, I have broken it up into 25-minute segments, roughly, and I've uploaded all the segments, but what I'm going to do is, they're all private right now, I'm going to make them all public, but I'm only going to, and I think I can do this, I hope I can do this, I'm only going to send notifications out for one of them, the first one in the list, and not all 7. That way you're not getting spammed with notifications and things. I'm going to try that and see how that works out. I believe that's what Co-Carnage does, because I subscribe to him on his YouTube channel and all that stuff, and it looks like that's kind of what he has been doing with a lot of the stuff. Of course, he has a ton of videos that's far more than I'll ever be putting up in one shot, but that's what you get when you stream 8 hours a day or whatever he does, and I can't even match that. But I'm going to try it with Wolcen. I think the way the game works, it kind of works out better that way, having it in small chunks, because it's a lot of just the similar stuff over and over and over again. So we'll see how that rolls out, and see if anybody likes that or doesn't like that. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things where nobody really notices the difference, and I'm okay with that as well. So it's just something I want to try. It certainly takes me longer to do that, believe it or not. I mean, I can set it up as a batch render, but the render itself actually takes longer than it would if I just rendered it as one file, which is a little bit interesting. But that's fine. I want to see what the reaction is to that. That does mean, though, some of the other mirror sites are going to get kind of spammed, but I can't really do anything about that. BitChute, as far as mirroring, I don't know what is up with those guys. They must have the worst technology team in the world. I could upload my stuff there, but I have the YouTube sync on, and sometimes I'll upload something and then like 2 weeks later it'll sync, but it'll only sync the one file I already uploaded, so you get duplicates, so I can't really reliably upload things, and half the time their uploader is broken anyway, so I don't even know. I don't get it. I don't get how you can run a site that's become as popular as that and not have a tech stack that is worth any time or effort, especially when it comes to syncing with YouTube, which is probably the easiest thing they can do, because all they're doing is embedding stuff. Meantime, I just fired up our channel over on BitTube, which is an even smaller unknown, and I have the YouTube sync turned on there, and it's like almost immediate. As soon as my videos go public, it's like out there practically within minutes of them going public. So I'm going to add a link to that in the descriptions of all my videos, including this one, so you can see that as a mirror. And then DTube has been going really well, really well. Like I'm almost torn about YouTube. Like I feel like YouTube has become sort of a secondary thing now. Like I still want to keep uploading on YouTube and all those things, but honestly, my Let's Play videos and stuff are doing really well on these other platforms. DTube in particular, it seems like every time I put a video up there, I make at least, $10 on it. So it's weird and strange, and I'm fine with it. So I really, those things are things that have been kept me going as far as all this is concerned. And so and the nice thing about DTube is I'm just literally just you paste in your YouTube video link and it just makes it public. You know, I don't have to re-encode or anything. I have been re-encoding stuff as 720p 60 for library. Library.tv just spun up now, so without having to download the app, you can now see it on the web. But I'm way far behind on that because I have to re-encode things for it to get up there. And I goofed too. When I first created the account on Library, I thought, well, maybe I should, you know, they had a YouTube sync option, but I thought, you know, maybe I should just do it myself just in case I don't want to sync everything up there and all that stuff. And now I regret that. I really should have turned the YouTube sync on. I can't do it now because the channel already exists. You can't do it on an existing Library channel. So yeah, I'm trying to get as much up there as I can. I will say that I've been keeping up with my new channel, Picky Trekkie. That's over there. The only thing that's not up there right now is my episode 3 talk. Those are I have to encode those tonight and they'll be ready to go because I do re-encode those things as 720p 60, which actually, now that I think about it, I could probably turn the YouTube sync on that, and then I don't even have to worry about that. But we'll see. Well, I'm playing it by ear at the moment with all this stuff. But yeah, those mirrors are up there, and they should be relatively functional. I'll leave the links for BitChute. I'm sorry, up there. But it's just a mess. It's a broken mess, and I can't do much about it. So, if you really are looking for a platform other than YouTube, I've just named a few that are in much better shape. DTube, BitTube, and Library as well. If you want to see my stuff up there. Oh, what else is going on? There's a lot of stuff in my brain that's just kind of rolling around here. I'm trying to make sure I get as much of this out as I can. It's been a while. I miss doing like the weekly news segments and stuff because it was nice to just kind of have a unformatted, mess of a video where I just get to talk, wax philosophical, and just have some pre-recorded footage and not have to worry about whether or not I'm making an interesting video. I can just make a video, and if it's not interesting, people will click away. But it's 'tis the way the world now works, I guess. That said, since I mentioned my new channel, Picky Trekkie, I'll mention it again here. That has been taking up some of my time. I haven't been streaming on Tuesday nights, mostly because that's when I've been recording the video for my roundup of Star Trek Picard is what I'm working on right now. So I should probably explain that a little bit more. Picky Trekkie is a new channel that I've started on YouTube and Library as well, and I'll eventually get it on some of the other mirror sites. I haven't done that yet. But it's basically, for a while, I've wanted to sit down and just kind of chew on some sci-fi stuff. I'm a big sci-fi fan, particularly of Star Trek, and I just wanted to kind of review science fiction stuff and just give my thoughts on things. I mean, that seems to be the big deal of YouTube anymore, and it, it's got its own audience. It's not I'm certainly not the first one to do it, and I won't be the last one. I'm in a sea of many people who do something similar, and I'm certainly not going to be the funniest one around either, but I like to at least I have some thoughts on some things and what I like to see in sci-fi, and what's been bugging me lately of a lot of the latest sci-fi things and all that stuff. And I've been going through Star Trek Picard, and then every week after the episode airs, I've been taking screenshots and gathering my thoughts together and all that stuff. And I've been doing 2 videos basically. Well, it's one video, but then I've been editing it differently. So basically I do a deep dive where I just go into every little aspect that I think is interesting of the episode and gather up screenshots of previous things and just try to support my arguments and all those things, and just do a full recap of the episode, essentially. And then after I go through the arduous process of editing that, which you might not think it's that bad, but just listen to this video, and I want you to, as we continue with this video, listen for all the times that I say or there's dead air, or I am stalling for time, like right now, because my brain doesn't work very fast. And then think about how often that happens, and I need to, in the reviews that I'm doing of Star Trek Picard, I'm going through that footage and editing as much of that out as I can. I don't get all of it, but I get as much as I can. And you'll understand very quickly why it's been taking me so long to edit those things. It takes me days. I've been trying to get them out by Thursday, when the next episode comes out, to do one for the previous episode. But it's just, it's becoming more of a Saturday thing now, because it's just taking forever. But my last one was, I think the raw footage was an hour, and for the deep dive was an hour and 50 minutes, I think. And I got it down to an hour and 16 or something. And then after I've done that and it renders out, I then go back, take the rendered footage and edit that again to do the quick hits. So that's where I try to get it down. I try to get it down to like 25 minutes or 30 minutes, as much as I can. I succeeded on episode 1 and 2, but episode 3 I had so many good points that I couldn't get it down below the 30-minute mark, so it's about 36 minutes, which I'm sure I'll get a lot of complaints about, but whatever. And then I go and link those two together with cards, and also I pin a comment on both of them, so that when somebody sees one versus the other, they can they have a link directly to the other one if they want something that's longer versus something that's shorter or whatever. So I've been putting a bit of effort into that stuff. It's not high production value, he does this all day long kind of thing. It's just it's as much as I can do while still juggling doing live streams 4 days out of the week, and also making YouTube videos of video games, and also working full-time as a programmer, completely different from everything else going on. So it's something I've been gnawing on for a while, and it's just something I wanted to try and see what happens, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not expecting, just like when I started this channel, I wasn't really expecting anyone to ever subscribe to it, and that's the same thing for that other one. I'm not expecting anyone to ever subscribe to it, but I figure it's you never succeed if you never try. is the way it goes there. It's kind of like you never win if you don't play, kind of thing. So, and I intend on, after Star Trek Picard is done, I intend on going and doing a few other things. Like, I've been wanting to revisit Babylon 5 and kind of go through and do some videos on that, like thread videos. They're kind of recaps, but also I want to like pull them apart and do them as threads and say, like, here's the threads that ran through season 1, and here's the threads that ran through season 2, and here's how everything tied in together and whatnot. I probably will not be doing any Star Wars stuff, because I am not familiar with the extended universe of Star Wars, and I feel like trying to do justice to any of Star Wars things just isn't going to work if you don't have a encyclopedic knowledge of the extended universe, because you're just not going to be able to come up with any real good arguments on things. but there are other little franchises and stuff that I think I could tackle that aren't quite as demanding. And you know, Star Wars fans are a lot like Star Trek fans, right? They'll know if you don't know what you're talking about. They're not dummies. So I'm kind of intimidated by them as well. So I'm trying not to go down that route, unless I have somebody with me who who knows that stuff inside and out. But who knows what the future holds on that one. So back to this channel. I want to get some more time in Temtem, obviously. Wolcen I want to play all the way through, and I want to do a lot of the end game stuff as well. So that's going to be, Wolcen is going to be the focus of my live streams and stuff for a little while. I'm going to continue with the Friday Star Trek Online stuff. Been playing with some of the folks over on Space Game Junkie. You should go check out spacegamejunkie.com. It's a very, very good community. They're all about... They're not just about space games. They're primarily about space games, but they're also... a lot of people play lots of different games, and very like-minded people over there. So it's very cool to see. And, you know, there's dissenting opinions too. So it's not like it's an echo chamber per se. But it's cordial, you know, like you can disagree and not offend anybody per se. So that's very cool. I hang out on their Discord all the time, more than I even hang out on my Discord, that's for sure. And yeah, it's so I've been playing Star Trek Online with them. We're in a fleet. Space Game Junkie fleet. We've been doing a lot of fleet stuff, and I've been streaming on Friday with the guys, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying myself. It gave me a reason to keep playing. I mean, I was going to play Star Trek Online anyway. Now it gives me a reason to stream it. You know, I kind of feel like I never really needed a reason to stream it, but it does get to the point sometimes when you don't have anything really to say, and it's nice to have someone else on the stream where you can kind of bounce things off of them and whatnot while we're playing together and everything else. So that's what I enjoy of that. And Saturdays I wasn't able to do it this Saturday because I had family stuff, and I was not in the mood yesterday to just record anything. I got home and I was just like, my mindset is not is not of the type where I can make anything happen here. And today I've just been super busy with trying to get stuff together for taxes, and it's, you know, fun times here. But the I'm trying to, at least on Saturdays or Sundays, whatever works for me, do racing games. I've been doing a lot of Forza Horizon 4. I've been trying to get, you know, back into that, and because I barely touched it. You know, Forza Horizon 3, I spent so many hours in that and got so far in that, and 4, I as many hours as I put into it, I've barely touched it, and I wanted to really get back in and do some more stuff. They have a new multiplayer mode called the Eliminator, which is their answer to sort of a battle royale, and it's intriguing from what I have read, but I haven't yet been able to actually get into a session because I tried it off camera, and I just sat there and just said 1 of 63, and nobody else was joining. So I don't know what to make of that yet. I'm hoping at some point I can get into that, and then perhaps that'll be a thing that I can do on the streams as well. And I'm just doing normal, you know, racing stuff on the streams as well, so it's nothing too crazy there. Also, it gives me a chance to revisit some older things that you know, I would like to do. I recently, you know, I've been doing this mini game roundup thing, and I read that what was it, Project Gotham Racing 2 had Geometry Wars was the mini game in that, and that's what spawned off the real Geometry Wars game. And so I picked that up, and then I thought, you know what? I've heard a lot of good things about Project Gotham Racing, so why don't I just pick up the entire series while I'm at it? So I have the entire series here for various consoles, and I have I want to at some point sit down and just kind of play through a few of them. I also want to revisit was it Burnout Revenge? Is that the name of it? I think that was the name of it, because I remember enjoying the heck out of that too. So I'd like to revisit that and a few others, and obviously also what really reinvigorated me, is that a word, reinvigorated? I've been reinvigorated, was playing Gravel, a little indie racing game that I was not expecting a whole lot from. It didn't have like the best reviews, and I started playing it, and I'm like, man, this is actually really good. I mean, it's not, as I've said numerous times on the stream, it's not going to win any awards, but it's actually decent, and decent enough that I actually put down the additional, like, I think the base game is $30, and then I put down an additional $30 for all the DLCs, and there's a lot of stuff there. So I want to keep playing through that too, because I'd like to play through that whole game. I've gotten maybe halfway through the story mode, and they have weekly challenges and stuff too, which is really cool. So that's another thing that I want to keep that going as well. And then before Horizon 4, I've gotten, I had the Lego expansion packs. I've been playing a little bit of that here and there, and just trying to, I just want to have a chill and a drive at times. So that's kind of a nice little side thing. It's a nice little thing where I can just kind of sit there and just relax a bit and just chill, kind of thing. Now, as far as proper games, proper Let's Plays, I guess is what I'm going for there. Jedi Fallen Order. I will try at some point to finish that. I really, really do not like the game. I've gotten, I think, about halfway through it. Based on all the footage I have is out there already. I will try and finish that, but I would not hold my breath on that. I really don't like it at all. And I'm playing on the easiest mode too, and it's just I hate it. I hate everything about it. It's just not my cup of tea. I really, if I do play it, it's just to get the story, which I've been told is not even that great anyway. So I kind of, every time I look at it, I'm like, do I really want to waste my time with this, or do I want to do something else? And so I've been mulling that around in my head, and I thought, well, maybe I just need to take a break, a long break from it. And I've been hearing lots of good things about Control, and so I've just installed it a few minutes ago, and I'm going to probably play some of Control, maybe on a live stream, most likely on a live stream, but might not all be live streamed. I might do some of it off, recording by myself, and some of it on a live stream. We'll see. I don't think, at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to matter anymore, because I put my face on everything now, so it's like, it might as well be a live stream or not. It's, as far as YouTube's is concerned. So we'll see on that one. I've heard really good things about that. I've seen a few Let's Plays of it. Have I seen them all the way through? I don't know if I've seen them all the way through, but I've seen, bits and pieces here and there, and it looks pretty intriguing. I'm just concerned about the controls, because I've heard there's a real difficulty spike at some point, and if you really haven't gelled with the controls, you're going to have a hell of a time with it. So we'll see how fleshes out. But I want to try it, and knowing me, I'm going to be spending a ton of time doing, like, I can't do an RPG like that without doing all the side quests, so it's going to be a long one. From what I've been able to determine, there's a lot of side things to do there, so it's probably going to be a long one. If it gels with me. If it doesn't, it's going to probably fall by the wayside, like everything else that didn't really make the cut. So I don't know when I'll get a chance to record that. It's looking like maybe next weekend, because I'm certainly not going to do it tonight. It's already 11 o'clock for me. It's not going to happen. But that's my initial goal on that anyways, by next weekend, to start recording some of that. You're probably wondering what's happened to the first impressions videos, and the answer is not anything crazy. With this other channel and stuff, it's taken a lot of my time away that I would have spent looking for games. But it's also, I've noticed there's been a big drop-off in games that I'm interested in, or games that are in a state that it feels like I can actually play them and have some feedback on them. I do have some footage of a game called the Outposts? Was it called? Let me see if I can get you the name of that. It was called, I can't even find it on here. It should be on here. The Quarry is what it was called. And I have footage of it, and I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not I want to release the footage of that, or if I want to re-record it, or if I just want to forget that I ever looked at the game. It's a hard one, because the feedback I have is very nondescript and very not necessarily positive, but it's not necessarily particularly good feedback either. I don't know, it just didn't really gel with me, so I'm kind of on the fence as to whether I should just toss that and try again, or whether I should just not even attempt it a second time. So we'll see on that front. I have to mull that over some more. But there's other indie things going on, but I haven't really. I've been sort of in the mood to play some games all the way through and not necessarily do a first impressions, I've been just kind of... I've had a burning desire, honestly, in the last couple months to just kind of do a proper Let's Play and not worry about the first impressions things. So, and I know, as soon as I put the first impressions video up, the last one I put up, it instantly got a ton of hits. So I know that's what people are looking for, and it's just kind of, I don't know. I need to get reinvigorated for that, re-enthused for that. And I think in order to do that, I need to clear off some of these other games that I've had on my list of things I wanted to play for a while, and then maybe I can come back to that in full bore or something close to that. I don't know. I just have to see what I can see at the moment. I just haven't done the research into it that I need to do it at least somewhat properly. I know it's a first impression video, and part of me also, I kind of want to set aside a streaming day every so often where I just stream myself playing things for the first time, and doing the first impression videos off of that. Like I could maybe do 2 of them a stream or something, or even more than that, depending on what the, how extensive the game is as far as needing footage. So that's another thing I've been kind of mulling over, because that would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So we'll see on that. the reason I haven't done that as a live stream that often, I occasionally I do, but the reason I haven't done it that often is because sometimes I look at something and if it's the very first time I've looked at it and I haven't actually played it before, it could be so broken at the time I go to record it that it just I get super frustrated and can't deal with it. So that's the only thing that's been irking me about doing that on a more regular basis. But I guess I gotta just get used to being able to say nope and moving on. Because I always feel like I'm gypping the devs a little bit by, oh, I started to record this and I started to stream this and you can see the stream of it, but then I didn't bother to play any more than 10 minutes because it just wasn't gelling. And I guess I need to not be have such a guilty conscience when it comes to that. I mean, if something just doesn't work for me, it just doesn't work for me, I guess. So maybe that's what I need to be a little bit more, I need to have a little bit more of a backbone, I think, when it comes to that stuff. So that's where we're at there. Minigame Roundup, I've just gotten 2 videos recorded of that tonight. Both in Fallout 4. I found the last 2 Pip-Boy video games, mini-games. To play for that, so that rounds up Fallout 4 then. I still have to go back to KOTOR 1 and do the swoop racing. And like I had mentioned, I think in one of the videos, I do have a save file that actually unlocks the entire game where I can go and jump around to various places and do the swoop racing. But when I started to look at it, I was like, oh, it doesn't have the same impact because it was all, the person had already unlocked them, had already done all the racing. So even though you can race again, it didn't have the same impact, the same like, hey, you succeeded and all that kind of thing. So I'm kind of putting that on hold until I do my KOTOR 1 playthrough again. I had played some of KOTOR 1, about 2 to 3 hours of it on stream, but I don't think I ever put it up on the channel. And I do want to eventually do a full playthrough of that. I have gone and done the needful and downloaded at least 100 mods for it. I found a long thread on Reddit that had, here's every mod that's and the order in which to put them in to get the best experience possible out of KOTOR 1, and they had another one for KOTOR 2 as well. So I need to go through that. I have all the mods downloaded. I just need to actually install them in the order in which they say to install them and all that stuff. So and then get that together. But I'm not in any rush to do that right now. I want to eventually do it, but I've got so many other little things that I am enjoying that I'm just trying to juggle the old eternal struggle to juggle all the things. And then I'm also concerned, like Cyberpunk is going to be coming out in September, and I'm concerned that, it takes me a long time to get through things, and it's like, well, I want to make sure that my schedule is pretty clear for Cyberpunk, because I'm going to be definitely playing through that thing like there's no tomorrow. At the same time, I've heard that Dying Light is really good, and I think Dying Light 2 is coming out soonish. I don't know when it's supposed to come out, this year maybe, or is it, I don't know if it's this year or next year. So I've also been wanting to maybe play that because I've heard it's really, really good, but also it's going to take me, dozens upon dozens upon dozens of hours to play through that game. So, and then there's Torchlight 3, which I think is still slated for this year. Although I have a feeling it's not going to come out this year because they punted on the MMO aspect of it, and they went back and said, "Well, we're just going to make Torchlight 3 now, and it's going to be single player and co-op like the old Torchlight 2 was." So I'm not seeing that that's probably not going to be out this year, I don't think. And I realized the other day it's been almost 2 years since my footage on Kingdoms of Amalur went up, and I barely even, I think I was a quarter done with that game. I still had a ton of stuff to do in that, and I love the game. It's just so many other things came out that drew my attention away, and I really want to get back to that as well. I would like to, finish that game sometime soon. So many things. I can't really promise anything anymore with everything on my plate and my brain just being half fried with all this. I feel like I'm pulled in 92 directions, especially with the new channel and everything and all that stuff. But I'm happy, and I just need to figure stuff out like I normally do, or don't figure stuff out and just keep winging it which seems to have been working pretty well for me up to this point anyway. So that's where we stand on that. We'd like to get more Temtem on the channel. I talked about how I'm going to do Wolcen. I might even do something like Temtem if I record a live stream of Temtem. I might also do the same thing with that, where I cut it up into like 25-minute segments, but only notify you of the first one, and then after that, I'll put them all in a playlist, and then you can just use autoplay on YouTube to go through the playlist if you want, or just click on it yourself as one ends and the next one comes. So I'm gonna see how that works. I'm torn because I feel like it's a pain in the neck to constantly, I know for me personally, I have stuff playing on another computer, and I have my headphones, I'm listening to that while I'm doing something on my main computer, like playing Star Trek Online or something, doing the dailies in Star Trek Online or something like that. And I know it's a pain to then drag the cursor over to the other computer and click on the next video once one stops, especially if you're not at a point where you can really do that. Whereas if it was a bigger chunk of time, it would do it. But I also understand that a lot of people see that, it's a 5-hour video, and they get intimidated by it and decide that they're not going to bother with it. So I don't know. It's a big experiment. It seems to work for other YouTubers. Definitely stealing the idea from Co-Carnage. 100%. So you can tell me that I'm a damn fraud. That's fine. It's sometimes it's the only way you figure things out is to let someone else do them first. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to flood people's notifications. At the same time, I feel like, one of the piece of feedback I always get all the time, all the freaking time, is that my videos are too long. And I'm not going to do it for every video, because some of them, it's not necessary. It feels like a racing game, for instance. I feel like you could do, people do long videos all the time, right? It's like, I'm not doing anything different than anyone else has done. But what I'm going to try to strive for is to have a mixture of both. If you don't like the long videos, here's some short videos. If you don't like the short videos, here's some long videos, that kind of thing. And we'll see what happens. It really comes down to whether or not the algorithm has decided that I'm worthy of attention or not, I guess, on that particular week. I've been streaming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is STO Friday. Saturdays I've been trying to stream, and that's usually a racing Saturday. I used to stream on Tuesday nights, but with all the Picard stuff, I haven't been able to do that because I want that to be at least somewhat timely. Once this season 1 of Picard is done, I'll go back to streaming on Tuesday nights probably, because I'll have the time then. I have time to really write myself, because the other stuff has been out forever. It's been years and years since Babylon 5, back in the 90s, so there's no pressing need for me to rush with that per se. And I don't I think that about covers all the bases that I can think of, honestly, right now. So I hope everyone's doing all right. I hope everyone is at least enjoying the stuff that I put out. I mean, you're not going to like everything I do, and that's fine. You're not going to like every game that I play, but it seems like I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. I'm still having fun. I'm not looking to be a ginormous YouTuber or anything like that. This is just a hobby that I do because otherwise I'd live a very, very boring life. So this is my half therapy kind of thing, I guess, in a way. Not all of my videos will have my face, especially like this one doesn't. But I have been using Facecam a lot more now, just because it seems to be. I was very resistant to it, and now I'm like, it's when in Rome, do what the Romans do at this point. So I'll have a mixture of both of those going forward and continuing to go forward, and all that and all those things. But I wanted to at least bring you guys up to speed with what's happened and what's going on and what's happening in the future, hopefully. So we'll see how all this fleshes out. In the meantime, I think I have about 55 or 54 minutes of footage of Temtem, so I'm just going to let this play out without any further commentary. But in any event, I hope everyone has an excellent time, excellent month, excellent couple months, because there'll be a couple months before I get another one of these updates out. And I hope to see you all guys and see all of you in the next video, whichever one you feel like watching. And thanks everybody for hanging around and watching me, and all good things. I guess. If you want to hear about sci-fi stuff, go check out Picky Trekkie. That's my sci-fi YouTube channel. If not for the crazy, I don't know if it's crazy, but somewhat funny or wacky channel banner that I put together in literally 5 minutes because I'm not an artist. So, and yet it's better than the channel art on this channel. So there you go. There you go, friends. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.
Mm.